Hello everybody, welcome to this week's protection update. Now you should have seen this week my note about the launch of our Elite proposition, where we're going to take a more targeted approach to how we support you and your business, and there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, including the advisor site, which will in itself have lots of new and rich content to support you. That will be coming soon. Obviously part of that has seen us republish our commission tables. These are in a brand new format to what you might have seen before, and I think in this week's protection update I just wanted to point out a few things from a generic point of view with regards to commissions. It got me thinking that there's never been any training courses out there that explain how it all works and what's the best strategy for you and for your business when it comes to how you get paid. Now I'm going to do a much bigger piece of work on this, so watch this space. But first of all, we know that for protection business you can get paid indemnity or you can get paid non-indemnity commission. Indemnity commission is where the life office indemnifies the commission. What that means is you get an upfront payment of commission which carries an earnings period. Typically we're talking about a 4-year earnings period or a 2-year earnings period, but of course there is also a 3-year earnings period with some providers. Now the earnings period means the length of time the policy needs to be in force, with the policyholder paying those monthly premiums before you get out of the woods and we avoid what we know as clawback. I'm sure you know what we're talking about by clawback. That's the bit of commission the provider paid you up front that you now owe them because the policy actually lapsed before you reach the end of that earnings period. Now non-indemnity is where you get paid equal amounts for each month of the earnings period. So if that's 4 years, you get paid 48 times. But obviously it's a lower amount because that's 1/48 of the commission each month. But in actual fact, providers typically pay a much higher level of commission if you opt for non-indemnity. So I like to refer to these two methods as upfront, that's indemnity, or on the drip, that's non-indemnity. But did you know that there's sometimes a different way to get paid your commission? For example, if you look at Aegon, they will actually allow you to choose what they call level commission. That's like a non-indemnity, but actually you receive that commission not just for 4 years or 2 years, you get that for the entire term of the policy. It's around 30% of the monthly premium. Did you know that? Now another interesting quirk that you'll see on this new commission table is what I call mix and match. What do I mean by that? Well, it's actually the ability to choose between 4-year terms and 2-year terms within your business. Several providers who do offer 2-year terms say that if you choose 2-year terms, you cannot use 4-year terms. That door is closed. And it's actually something to do with the way that the systems work. They literally don't have the ability to let you switch between those two different terms. Now that happens at AR level, which means all the advisors within the firm have to go along with that stance. Now some advisors do like the ability to choose which policies that you deploy a 2-year terms for and which policies you deploy a 4-year terms for. And we also know that commission terms are always lower for 2-year terms than they are for their 4-year equivalent. So of course that's something to think about. And again, I've added that detail to the commission table so you can see exactly which providers that applies to. Now on the other hand, some providers do let you mix and match your agencies. So for that piece of business over there, we're going to use 2-year terms and limit your risk exposure. But for that piece of business over there, we'll use 4-year terms and we'll get paid more. There are a few providers who do that. Now we've also got several providers who will pay a significant amount more commission for index-linked policies. Now that's where the cover and the premium is going to increase over the term of the policy, and that's why you get paid more commission. And the final thing I wanted to point out is that some providers actually allow you to really play around with the split of indemnity and non-indemnity when you apply for the policy. Now the one provider that does spring to mind as having probably the most versatile, flexible commission options is Guardian, and I'll be recording a podcast with them to illustrate exactly how that works. It's quite remarkable when you see just how many options that you've got available that can actually generate quite a lot more commission. Hopefully we can get that published for you next week. Now, I've got a note from Vitality this week to plug their winter speaker series, which has some really excellent speakers. There's a webinar happening next Wednesday between 3 and 4 o'clock. That's Wednesday the 26th of January, and that's with Professor Hal Hirschfield. He's a professor of marketing, behavioural decision making and psychology at UCLA's Anderson School of Management over in America. He's actually dialing in from America to do the webinar. It says on his website that Hal is committed to the work of helping people make better long-term decisions. That might be a good one to tune into. The session itself is actually called Connecting Our Current and Future Selves and Maximising Our Health Span. Does sound intriguing, and I think it will be a really good session to join in next week. I've added a link to that in this week's protection update where you can register for the webinar. It's even CPDable. Now, beyond that, there's actually another webinar in February as part of this series. That's with Gabby Logan, and there's another one in March with Dr. David R. Hamilton. But I'll add those links a little bit nearer the time. Now, there's some product updates from Zurich. This week, Zurich have rolled out a brand new standalone critical illness proposition, and you'll see this now on Solution Builder. Standalone critical illness cover, you might be wondering? Well, it is a growing market, and it could be a good fit for people who don't want a combined life insurance product, or could also find themselves in a position where life cover might be difficult to get. An example might be the armed forces. Now, Zurich have also reported an enhancement to its TPD, Total Permanent Disability benefit, whereby customers will automatically be offered work tasks should the situation be where they can't offer own occupation definition for that. Now, the work task definitions actually means that they'll pay out the sum assured if a customer, through illness or injury, is permanently unable to carry out 3 of 6 specified work tasks. That's walking, climbing the stairs, lifting an object, bending, getting in and out of a car, or writing. Now, the age limits for TPD have also been increased, with the maximum age on application raised from 54 to 65. Another thing that Zurich have done this week is actually develop the functionality for their relevant life trusts, and that's to be completely completed online. And that really eliminates the need for signatures and the physical copies of the trust, which of course will speed up the process. There was an article in the Cover magazine this week, and CI Expert Director Alan Lakey made a really good point, I think, where he said Zurich considers terminal illness cover to be a critical illness condition. So whilst the standalone plan may not pay out on death, it will pay out an amount if the client is deemed likely to die within the next 12 months. That's a bit unusual. And finally, don't forget to book onto our roadshows, which are happening very soon in February. Now, we originally set these up as the 1st of February, Southwest. That would have been around the Cardiff area. 2nd of February, Southeast, would have been around the London area. 8th of February, around the North, probably Manchester. And the 9th of February would have been in the Midlands, Birmingham. Now, if you want to join your regional colleagues, of course, do book that date. But in actual fact, these are all being delivered online, so just choose the date which is most suitable for you, and of course, we'll see you down there. So that's it from me for another week. Have a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you soon.